Video game music has long been a passion of mine. The moment I saw the 30-day video game music challenge, I knew I had to participate. In this special video, I will highlight my picks for each day. I'm going to jump right into day 1, title screen music. I didn't realize how small an impact title screen music had made on me until I tried to come up with a track for this day. But when looking through my music library, I found that I listened to this title theme an obscene amount of times. In addition to perfectly representing the theme of the game, it is a beautiful track to listen to on its own. Does an RPG really have opening level music? I say yes. Opening levels need to set a tone for the rest of the game to follow. Peaceful Days does just that for this feel-good adventure. Chrono Trigger reaches some epic heights, but it starts with a sleepy boy in an idyllic town meeting a girl at the fair. If you have to endlessly grind for hearts and wander around towns talking to people who respond with badly translated nonsense, you might as well do it to the best 8-bit music. The rock-inspired transitions on this track add a powerful punch. This was a very tough choice. Moon from DuckTales and Boss Theme 1 from Light Force were very close contenders. This category is much more limited than you might imagine. Even Mario has games on PC. But I found a choice that is more than worthy. I have no idea how you would even approach writing a tune to encapsulate the conflicted, muddy feelings generated by the end of The Last of Us. The twangy opening strings somehow do just that. If I were not to limit myself to one track per game, the Chrono Cross soundtrack would dominate this list. I chose Voyage Homeworld because that is exactly what I think of when I hear overworld music. This song makes you feel exactly how you should feel when you embark from a town onto an epic adventure. This is the objectively correct choice. If you choose anything else, you are wrong and should feel bad about yourself. This was an incredibly tough choice. If I were to limit this day's choice to just Undertale soundtrack, it would be tough. I chose Hopes and Dreams because it cemented the apex of one of the most emotional games I've ever played. I've never rooted harder for a character. It made me feel much more triumphant about not killing anyone than any bloody conquest. You can expect more from me on this game in the future. For now, just listen to this atmospheric track, partially written by Ramin Djawadi, composer for Game of Thrones and Westworld. It's a perfect fit for System Shock 2's tone. By focusing on the core of the game, the friendship between Sora, Kairi, and Riku, and playing over the soft sound of waves hitting the beach of their lost home, Kingdom Hearts 2's title screen and Dearly Beloved nearly bring you to tears before the game begins. Now, with the series long ago abandoning that purity for silliness and incomprehensibility, this stands as a bit of a funeral dirge for what was lost. The tricky part about my selection here is that it could be argued that Final Fantasy XII doesn't have battle music. Battles happen on the playfield without a transition to another screen, leaving dungeon music playing double duty as battle music. Fawn Coast plays both roles incredibly. Try to imagine something more heroic sounding than this. This day's selection ought to be called What is the Best Track from Tetris Effect? No other puzzle game music comes remotely close to anything from this game. So which track? I am partial to You and I, which takes me to a place I simply cannot describe. It's a track that both works on its own and along with the game for a true otherworldly experience. This theme is first heard when finding a suspension tank housing the character Emeralda, a child made completely of nanomachines created by Kim Kasim 3,000 years before. After finding out that the government is planning to use Emeralda to ignite war, Kim locks her away in an underwater facility. Who is she found by? The reincarnation of Kim and his wife Ellie. A child wakes up to parents who have no idea who she is. I did not enjoy Final Fantasy VIII, but there is no denying that Fisherman's Horizon is one of Nobuo Uematsu's finest works. I guess I could question why a song that is so clearly influenced by James Bond movies is in a game like Metal Gear Solid 3. But no one questions Hideo Kojima. He does whatever he wants, and man does he love movies. And when it ends up this good, we all benefit.
I'm searching and I'll melt into you. What a fear in my heart, but you're so supreme. I give my life not for honor, but for you. In my time, there'll be no one else. Crime, it's the way I fly to you. I'm still in a dream, snake eater.
I am certainly susceptible to recency bias, and maybe that's why this choice is what it is. But how can you not love the boss themes from Final Fantasy VII Remake? This was a toss-up between Hell House and Airbuster. I went with Hell House because besides being monstrously epic, it still conveys the ridiculousness of the battle. I have nothing profound to say about this track, though if I look back closer at the game I certainly could. This is a simple example of an inspiring, heroic song. This is my favorite song from an amazing soundtrack. It appears in a couple different places in Symphony of the Night, and other than sounding a little gothic, doesn't really fit in with Castlevania. But it's just so good it could find a place in nearly any game. For this selection, it's less the music and more the snake.
Snake! Snake!
I'm declaring myself the referee here and saying that this counts. Yes, it was made for its own game. It's still a cover though, and it elevates the already excellent original. Finding a good racing game tune that isn't licensed music was tough, but I'm going with the F-Zero GX version of the classic, Mutant City. As a song, this is my worst selection. It's maybe okay. but I associate nothing else with it but pure frustration. The underwater level in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is terrible. No, that's not a typo in the title. It's a bad translation. Wild Arms caught me off guard, and this track in particular has stuck with me for a long time. It's not only beautiful on its own, it's the backdrop to one of the most pivotal and heartbreaking moments of the entire game. Sonic, even in his many trash games, always has banging music, and they never get as much credit as they should. That's why I selected this song. Give this track to any DJ and have them updated with modern equipment, and you could easily sneak this into a club without anyone being the wiser. This will be in your head for the rest of the day. I'm sorry. Hornet is nearly 3 minutes of pure intensity. It varies between mimicking the sounds of a bee buzzing around your head, while its crescendo reaches heights unseen. Hollow Knight is a game that requires precision, and this track is your biggest obstacle in this boss fight. Good luck keeping your timing with this song coursing through your veins. I'm not a huge fan of the Elder Scrolls series. In fact, I've only played Skyrim. That soundtrack was pretty good though. So I listened to Oblivion's soundtrack, and this song was nice. Thank God for Vita ports. It's not that handheld games don't have good music, it's that I don't remember the music at all. But I do love the music in Muramasa the Demon Blade, and it makes a flawless trip to the PlayStation Vita. Enjoy the best song from its soundtrack. This is one of the most iconic tracks in video game history. I still remember the morning I got my Sega Genesis, and Sonic the Hedgehog was the first game I played. As soon as this song played, I was hooked on video games for life. This is another day with an objectively right answer. If you have any other song, you are wrong. This is not the type of song I thought I would come up with when considering this day, but ultimately I did settle on it. In contrast to most end themes, which seem to put an exclamation point on all of your in-game achievements, this one administers a sobering dose of reality. The first part of the credits sequence is peaceful, documenting a small town full of innocent people. And then the theme shifts darker as a man walks into town and systematically infects all inhabitants with Las Plagas, turning them into violent puppets. This is the town that you have just massacred.